So today we're going to go over how to deploy a production-ready DEX in 10 minutes. So here's the demo. There's a swap page and a pool page. I can switch tokens like this. I can connect. So I'll connect to my MetaMask. I'm connected here. You have different tokens to choose from. You can select the amount, swap, and confirm. You can do all this. Also under pools, you can create a new position or you can view positions that you currently have. This is all production ready using the Uniswap V3 smart contracts. So let's get started. So this works for any EVM, layer 1s, layer 2s, and layer 3s, so on and so forth. And let's get started. So the first thing is to fund a wallet. So this wallet is used to deploy all of the contracts. I already have a wallet ready to go. There's some testnet funds here. Next is to deploy 4 of these contracts. So the first is deploying the wrapped ETH. If this is a new chain, this is required. If the chain already exists and there is a wrapped ETH, we can skip this step. But let's go over the wrapped ETH real quick. So in the terminal here, I already have a script ready to deploy. So I'm going to use Forge to create the wrapped ETH contract. I have the RPC URL. This is going to Sepolia, and I'm going to deploy. So it's compiling. We'll give it a few seconds, and it should give me a transaction hash I can check on chain. And so let's check the Sepolia Etherscan, and we'll see in a bit the smart contract address. Okay, so here's the TX hash. I can paste it here. I can see that it's going along. So as this is going, I can go to the next step, which is deploying the Uniswap V3 smart contracts. This is as is, no alterations, which is production ready. Next is to deploy the Uniswap V3 smart contracts. So in here, this has the factory contract and the periphery contracts, which is used to create the LP pools and the tokens to do the trades. So in here, it's requiring the wrapped ETH contract. So let's go back to the first tab, see what the contract address is. So it's this contract address. I can copy it here. And I'm going to paste it under the wrapped ETH. Hit enter, and this will deploy all of the Uniswap V3 smart contracts. This should take some time. There's about 15 steps. We're on step 1, so we'll see this in a bit. Okay, so that was about 5 minutes. It deployed all of these contracts. You can also view these contracts in a file called state.json. So here's the file here. So that's the deploy the V3. Next is deploying permit 2. So permit 2 is a contract that makes the user experience a lot easier. So for example, the normal way to send tokens is you approve and then you send. So it's 2 transactions. This does it in 1. And you can do it for multiple contracts. It's basically a way to make sending contracts a lot easier. This permit 2 contract has a fixed address. So if you try running this and it errors out, that means it's already been deployed. So in this example on Sepolia, it's already deployed, but let's just see the error so we know that it exists. So I'm gonna hit enter. We'll give it a few seconds and there should be an error. And the error is to this address here. So if I go to the block explorer and I paste in the address, I can see that it's already been deployed. And if I check the contract, it is already permit 2. So the address is already existing. Everything's good. I can move on. And the last step is the universal router. So the universal router is a way to route transactions or paths from token A to token B, find the best ways. So before we deploy that, let's paste in the addresses. So permit 2, let's copy this address here. The wrapped ETH, which is the first deployment here. I'm going to paste it down here. And the V3 factory address. So if you see, it's the V3 core factory address. I'm going to copy this, paste it here. and hit enter to deploy the universal router. We'll give this a few seconds, and this should cover all of the deployments required here. Okay, so things are looking good. We'll give it a few more seconds. Okay, now that everything is deployed, we can move on to the next step, and that is setting the environment variables for the UI. So this is the public-facing, the website. So let's open up the interface repo. And in the interface repo, there is an environment variable. So here's the repo. The environment variable, there's a bunch of variables here. So let's fill this all in. So let's give it a second. Okay, now that it's saved, I can run it locally. We'll give it a few seconds to start up the server. And we should have all the functionality, production ready, everything ready to go, V3 DEX. So here's the DEX ready to go. You can select the different tokens. You have different pools. Because this is a new deployment, there is no pool, so you can create a new position here. Set up your pool, so on and so forth. And that's V3 deployed in 10 minutes. Thanks.